guys, today we're going to be replacing the passenger side torque motor mount on a 2009 Nissan Altima. Now this is the torque motor mount. It's located right here. This is the old one. And if you ever have a problem with your car vibrating or shaking, especially when you have it in gear or when you're driving, this could be the problem. Now if you have a 2009, you're likely getting ready to have to replace this because they go bad about 55 to 100,000 miles depending on driving conditions. Now this one, we can obviously tell that it's bad because if you can see in here, it's hard to see, but when I take it out you're going to be able to see it's actually ripped. You can see the tear in the motor mount. It's actually completely separated in the center, and it should look like this one where it's completely attached. So this car is experiencing really bad vibration, shaking. If you don't change these out, you can actually do damage to your transmission and your axles, and you don't want to do that. So this car actually has 4 motor mounts. One is located here. This is the torque. And this is another motor mount right here. You can see this big piece right here. We're actually going to be changing all 3 of them. There's also another motor mount that's located underneath your air cleaner right down through there. And it's hard to see, but it'll be right down in through there. So you actually have to take your air cleaner out to get access to it. So today we're just going to be replacing the torque motor mount, and to do that you're going to need a few tools you want to get in ahead of time. So you're going to need a 18mm wrench, and that's to take out these bolts here and here. And then you're going to need a 13mm wrench, and that's to take out this bolt and this bolt here. You do not have to take off this cover if you do not want to, but if you do, if you're going to be changing the other motor mounts, you can take this cover off with a 3/16 Allen wrench, and those take out those. You're going to need a pry bar, and that's to pry up on this piece right here, and I'll show you that in a little bit. And you're going to need a 13mm socket, and that's for, again, these up here. You'll want to have something to stick underneath this after you pry it up to hold it up a little bit so you have access to this bolt. And of course you need your 18mm socket and a socket wrench. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take this cover off. It's held in by 3 screws here. So you just loosen these up and it will come right off. You can just take this off here, and this will give us a little bit of room to work with. Now you can actually see this motor mount here. So we're going to be replacing this motor mount in part 2, and you can watch that video by clicking the link below. So if you're gonna change all 3, we're gonna actually be changing all 3 over a series of videos. So if you want to watch how to do each one individually, I'll show you how to do that. So now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to loosen this piece up here, and to do that you will want to use your 13mm socket. These may be a little tight. If they are tight, you can always use sometimes I'll use a wrench like this, and then I'll stick it on here like this, and then it gives me a little extra torque to turn it a little bit, because sometimes they're a little tight, so it's maybe a little hard to get off. I've already pre-loosened these, so it'll go a little bit faster for purpose of watching this video. After you loosen it up, you can just leave that one in there actually. Now what you want to do is take your pry bar. Well, you can just put it under here, but you don't need to do anything with it just yet. You're going to need to loosen up this 18mm bolt. So this is an 18mm. We're going to loosen this up. You may need a breaker bar to loosen this up. I already loosened it a little bit. But once you get it going, you can take your wrench start taking this out. You're not going to have enough clearance with your socket, so that's why I'm using the wrench. Okay, there we go, it's all loosened up, but as you see, there's no clearance to get that bolt out. That's why you need your pry bar. So we need to pry up on this in order to get the clearance to take that out. So once you do that, you just make sure you keep track of where your bolts go. So we know this one goes on the top, so I'm going to put it over here. Now we got to get to this bolt, but to get to that bolt we got to take off this power steering reservoir. And to do that, the easy way to do it is behind here there's a clip just behind the reservoir. See if you can see it. Right here is the clip. If you pry this out like that, you can slide this power steering reservoir off. Just like that. When you do that, it's going to give you enough clearance to get to that bolt. Now if you need more clearance, you can always take this off, but at least taking this off, you can get this bracket off easy. Now we're going to do it without taking this bracket off, and I'll show you that it can be done. So let's start taking off this bolt here. It's an 18mm. Now the parts you can get, this this torque mount is made by Anchor. It's a replacement part. You can buy this one at Advanced Auto Parts, and they sell it for about $66. You can also buy it on Amazon, and if you're a member, they have same-day shipping or one-day shipping, and it's $42. You can also find other brands for about $20 if you can wait. I couldn't wait, so I ordered it same-day shipping actually, and we got it on Sunday. So now that you have this loosened, we can slide this out, and you're going to see what happened to this motor mount in just a second. So I get this out. Now look at this. It's completely separated from the motor mount. This is supposed to be attached, and as you can see, completely detached. And here's the other. We're going to set that right here. That means it goes over here in the front. So let's take this out. We just slide it out, and here you have it. This is what happens. With time, it just wears down and breaks. So these have to replace, like I said, about 55,000 to 100,000 miles, but eventually you're going to have to replace this. This is a very easy job to do, as you can see, because we're almost done. It'll cost you, if you have this done at a dealership or a mechanic, they're going to charge you probably somewhere around $80 for this, maybe higher, and probably about $120 for labor. So you can pay as much as $300 to get this replaced, and it's going to take you about 20 to 30 minutes once you have all your tools ready. So it's something that you can easily do yourself, especially if you have an Altima, since it's right here on the top. You don't have to take it to a repair shop. Really easy to do, even if you're not very mechanically inclined. So let's go ahead and put the new one on. This is the new one. Okay, so now we're going to put the new torque rod motor mount back in, and you got to make sure that you put it in the right way. The first time I did it, I put it in the wrong way, and you don't want to do that. I mean, it'll be fine, but taking it out will be, putting it in and taking it out, if you do it the wrong way, it's going to be much harder. So the right way is with this flat piece on top, with the corner to the top, and it'll look like that when it's inside, when it's down there, right? So you want to slide it in like this. Just goes right in here, and it's got a little bit of a curve to it to make it a little bit easier to do. Gotta get this here. There we go. We got her in there. So now that we've got that back in there, we've got to put the bolts in. So remember, this side had the bolt with the washer. So we just slide this in here like that. Make sure that we line it up good. That, and we want to get it hand started because we don't want to strip out this thread. So let's hand start this bolt on here. Okay. Get our wrench. We're going to tighten it a little bit, but not all the way. You just want to get it started. So we still have some play in it. That way we can use that to get the top one in. Now the top one, again, you're going to need your pry bar to get it back in there. Just line up the hole. You can use a screwdriver to push it over if you need to. And then line up the hole and it'll go right in. You can drop that part down. And you got to get this one started. Sometimes you might have to move the part over a little bit to get the hole lined up. Now that we got them started, I'm going to tighten them down. So I'm going to speed up this part of the video. Okay, to get this one on there. Okay. So all you have left to do is to slide this reservoir back on here. It'll snap into place like that. Then just tighten down these two 13mm bolts. Okay, and the last thing that we have to do, put the dust cover back on. Just goes right on here, and then we just tighten that up with our 3/16 Allen wrench, and you're all done. So in the next video we're going to show you how to take off the passenger side motor mount, which is located right here. We also have videos on the rear engine motor mount and the transmission motor mount. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this helps. See you guys next time. Bye.